Watchers across the U.S. are in for a treat. On August 21st, for the first time in almost a century, a total solar eclipse will reach across the country, plunging a strip 70 miles wide into darkness. NASA's Dr. Nicolene Vial says she's excited.
What's super cool is for 2 minutes, all of a sudden in the middle of the day, it goes dark like it's a moonlit night.
Weather permitting, the moon's silhouette will be visible as it passes across the country, from Lincoln Beach, Oregon to McClellanville, South Carolina.
Hi guys, let's talk a little bit about this upcoming solar eclipse. I have so many questions coming to my email box about it. So, it is August 21st, 2017 that we will be experiencing one of the most powerful and significant total solar eclipses of our lifetime. Its path of totality goes right across the United States from coast to coast, starting from, I think, Portland in Oregon, and in the west to South Carolina in the east. This eclipse has been on the radar for both astronomers and astrologers for years, and it has been dubbed the Great American Eclipse. I believe there is even a website in that respect. So, astrologically speaking, all eclipses have an effect on everybody on the planet. However, the location it travels over will experience it more potently. So the effects of solar eclipses can start to be noticeable even in prior months, even 6 months before, and even they can be noticed 6 months later. So maybe you can track back down to even February or even maybe beginning of the year and see what has shifted. So the influences and results of eclipses, even though it has this immediate plus minus 6 month effect, the results have long-term significance. So I could probably talk a little bit more about how eclipses are, but let's focus over here. This solar eclipse is in Leo, and it trines Uranus with South Node in Aquarius. You do know, and you did notice, that I'm not crazy about astrology. I consider tarot about not 100, but 1,000 times above, because we are souls after all. And yes, we do get influenced by planets, we do get influenced with the sun and with the moon, but ultimately our power charger is basically our soul. But today we are talking in astrology terms. So we have started to experience a series of both lunar and solar eclipses in the Leo-Aquarius polarity axis, which initiated in February this year, and they're going to last until early of 2019, 2 years. Eclipses always occur when the new moon or full moon is in close proximity to one or the two lunar nodes. The north node of the moon is in Leo, which means there is new beginnings and push forwards in the sign. The south node is in Aquarius, which represents where endings are trying to be facilitated according to that sign. Also, this way, what is getting in the way of fulfilling the north node in Leo. Okay, so I know this all sounded probably like gibberish. So, this upcoming Great American Eclipse, quote unquote, is near the north node in Leo, and because it is also a new moon, it emphasizes the forward energies of the north node. The lunar eclipse that occurs prior on August 7th in Aquarius near the south node also emphasizes the past energies wanting to be shifted. So Leo is the sign of... So keep in mind that Leo energy is more self-orientated. It is very, very strong-willed, wants to stand out from the crowd and create its kingdom. This combined with the Uranus influence mentioned, it's exactly what we are seeing under the Trump-ruled United States. This energy is also somewhat connected with Britain's exit from European Union as well, which is kind of like happening and creating a whole bunch of issues on their own. Saturn is also in a loose trine with this eclipse and Uranus. Saturn has been in Sagittarius for the last few years, and Sagittarius rules countries, and Saturn is a restricting and redefining influence, which is why we have been seeing conflicts around immigrants and refugees coming into Western countries, and even Trump's Muslim ban. Okay, now, if you thought this is complex enough, just check this one out. this solar eclipse is aligned with Regulus, and it is also aligned with Trump's astrology chart. You see, the star Regulus is one of the major stars observed by astrologers. It is the heart of the lion, right? It is in the Leo constellation, and it is associated with leaders, rulers, and traditionally being referred to as the star of the kings. Donald Trump was born when Regulus was rising, which is also aligned with his Mars, which traditionally is associated with strong military leaders. Now let's kid ourselves not. Trump is definitely a military leader. Also, what I think is an important thing to mention is that when there is a total solar eclipse, the moon completely cuts off the light of the sun. Traditionally, when there would be an eclipse like this aligned with Regulus or a similar type of star, it could mean a significant change regarding a leader or quote-unquote king, and in some cases a downfall or symbolic death. You see, the similar eclipse occurred in 1998, and that actually led to Bill Clinton's impeachment. So the last time we had a solar eclipse aligned with Regulus was in 1998, and it was conjunct with President Bill Clinton's sun sign, who is a Leo himself. At that time, Bill Clinton admitted to having sexual relations with Monica Lewinsky, and his impeachment process was underway in the months following. So this echoes what is currently going on with lots of talk around impeaching Donald Trump. This great American eclipse is also part of a series of connected eclipses called TAURUS Series 145. The years that these eclipses take place usually correlate with the fall of a leader. JFK was assassinated. Franklin Roosevelt died. A Russian prime minister was fired, and the downfall of former Yugoslavian Serbian President Slobodan Milosevic occurred under TAURUS Series 145 as well. There were also assassination attempts on Ronald Reagan and William Taft during these eclipses, and even John F. Kennedy's sons died in a plane crash. Uranus will also be making a tough square to Donald Trump's career ruling planet, which could also indicate potential impeachment or other major disruptions or changes around his role of president. Also considering that his Mars is being activated, this indicates that he may go to quote-unquote war, either domestically with the people trying to bring him down, and or perhaps with another country, and let's hope not. Saturn and Uranus are also in a trine with Mars that is loosely aligned with this eclipse. This could also indicate some sort of military action or upgrade. So, you see where my trouble with whole this thing / Trump is, that this potentially divides U.S. further. The interesting thing about this eclipse is how its pathway literally draws a line over the United States from one corner to the other. You see, symbolically, this could represent the sharp division between the U.S. citizens that have been brewing since the rise of Trump. On October 2016, I predicted that Trump was going to win the election because of that dividing pathway, while also considering the alignment with his chart and Regulus. Perhaps when we consider all of this so far, it is very possible that an attempted impeachment of Trump could trigger further domestic turmoil, both in Washington and amongst U.S. citizens across the country. Trump supporters would likely revolt towards the political establishment, which could potentially lead to civil unrest that could potentially escalate into a civil war. Now there is that another thing, the connection with Pluto and Capricorn. And I don't know if you noticed that a lot of Capricorns are around Trump. Capricorns bring kings forward. So Pluto has been in Capricorn since 2008 and it will stay there until 2024. Pluto is the planet of secrets, power, manipulation, but also transformation, death, and rebirth. Yes, Scorpio, it is your planet. Capricorn is associated with government as well as things like business and banking. Therefore, to kind of like put it simply, this is a period in which government structures and the hierarchy of the geopolitical arena will continue to have problems. And that will ultimately help to initiate major changes set to develop over time, and it's going to go beyond 2024. So the last time Pluto was in Capricorn was from 1762 to 1778. None of us was alive. And at the end of the time period, in the US at least, Declaration of Independence was signed and the US was birthed. All of this occurred during the American Revolutionary War, in which the colonies were in a battle with an oppressive and troubled Britain. This period marked significant new beginnings, as the US would eventually become the leading country of the world, and it took Britain's place. However, with this addition of Pluto in Capricorn, the US is now the troubled and oppressive power. Over the years since it started, a lot of disappointing secrets have been revealed due to WikiLeaks, Edward Snowden, and the rise of conspiracy-related media platforms. This has created a dissatisfied population which led to the election of Trump. However, as Pluto's influence is growing stronger, Trump also represents the quote-unquote abuse of power qualities of Pluto as well. So there is also Saturn that's going to enter Capricorn in December, and it's going to be another American eclipse in 2024. So guys, over the next 7 to 8 years, there'll continue to be a lot of turmoil in the US, which will ultimately lead to greater new beginnings, which will have both a domestic and global impact for them. This eclipse, which strongly influences the next 6 months, is triggering this energy. And during the 6-month window of time, Saturn will enter Capricorn on December 21st, which is winter solstice, and will stay there for approximately 3 years. So lucky Capricorns. This will amplify Pluto's energies mentioned, and it will reflect further problems for government and banks. This could manifest as a major recession and economic downfall, which may even start earlier than December, building up slowly after Saturn ends retrograde on August 25th. So if you guys are planning to sell the house, do it rather sooner than later. On April 8, 2024, there will be another total solar eclipse traveling over the US. This is the same year that Pluto ends its passage through Capricorn, and it will also coincide with other astrological aspects and cycles. And everything together kind of suggests that this will be the period in which the new beginnings will start to take place. So the way I see it, this great American eclipse marks the beginning of a 6 to 7 year window of major changes, and it will conclude around the time of the next solar eclipse traveling over the US on April 8, 2024. A lot of changes are underway, not just in government, but also in astrology readings, banking, currencies, and the way business is done. However, there will be no changes in tarot. The only change is going to be that we collectively will become better people. I love you guys.